Now on 4 News Now, you'll want to keep your rain jacket handy this week because we have multiple rounds of wet weather on the way. I'll let you know what to expect for Tuesday in your First Alert forecast.
And the new field at the downtown stadium is ready for its first game. Get the inside look at One Spokane Stadium. You're watching a special edition of 4 News Now. Get ready for a big change in the weather over the next few days with multiple rounds of rain on the way, as you heard from Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker, and here she is to talk about that rain.
Yes, in fact, any minute now, we're going to get that rain going. Here's a look at our satellite and radar right now. We're already seeing some very light precipitation moving through the Columbia Basin. Approaching the Spokane area, you may have had a sprinkle or two at your house, but you have a better chance of some more substantial rain moving in the overnight. Here's a look at our forecast radar. Starting off at the current time, we'll see some very light rain initially, and then by about midnight, things will start picking up. Expect steady rain through tomorrow morning. Here's 7 o'clock in the morning. Then we'll start to see things a little more hit and miss, but we have the potential for some thunderstorms embedded in our showers in the afternoon. Here is noon with the potential for some thunderstorm activity. That will begin tapering off tomorrow late afternoon, and we'll get a little bit of a break before more wet weather moves in. Meanwhile, take a look at our highs today. We hit 80 in Spokane. Mostly we were in the 70s elsewhere around the region. 60s further to the west where we had more clouds and the early onset of that light precipitation. Right now, temperatures around the region are in the 50s and 60s. We will be slow to cool tonight with those clouds in place, but it's not going to be an especially warm day tomorrow. We're heading up to a high of 63 degrees. We're going to see that chance of showers, possible thunderstorms in the afternoon. As I mentioned, we have several days worth of wet weather. I'll be back with your 7-day outlook in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thanks so much, Chris. Well, right now, the Spokane City Council is listening to quite a bit of public comment on several issues. Tonight, they are preparing to vote on a resolution that could formally denounce Mayor Nadine Woodward for her appearance at a far-right religious rally last month. This issue has to do with the video on your screen. Mayor Woodward appearing alongside former Spokane Valley Representative Matt Shea. And during that event, several people on stage asked for a prayer over Mayor Woodward, and Shea offered a blessing for her re-election. Shea has been condemned by his own party for religious extremism. The measures being put forward by council members Zach Sapone and Betsy Wilkerson. They say the mayor's appearance tarnishes the reputation and image of the city and its citizens. The City Council also set to vote to launch a new investigation into former City Administrator Johnny Perkins. The original measure ended abruptly when Perkins resigned, but the investigator found that Perkins violated the city's sexual harassment policy, used inappropriate language, and caused low morale. Councilmember Zach Sapone is calling for an independent investigation to see if there was any potential oversight from the city's administration. We do have a team inside City Hall tonight. We will update you just as soon as we learn more. Well, it was another busy weekend of football in our region, from college to the pros, but the talk of the town continues to be the Washington State Cougars as they are coming off another big win. And our Alex Crescenti was on the sidelines during the thrilling finish and got to experience his second field storming in just 2 weeks, Alex.
Yeah, that's right, Kirsten. Certainly less expected than the win against Wisconsin, but the importance of this victory is probably greater for the Cougs as they start Pac-12 play 1-0 and are now ranked 16th in the nation after not receiving a single vote in the preseason polls. Now, the story a third of the way through the season continues to be the offense, and on Saturday, they looked as sharp as ever, putting up 528 yards on the evening. More than 400 of those came through the air, and really there wasn't a whole lot the Beavers could do to stop Wazoo, even as they were without one of their primary targets. Sometime in the first half, wide receiver Lincoln Victor went down with a lower leg injury and was seen on crutches for the rest of the game. Now, the good news for Cougar fans is the injury might not be as bad as originally thought. Coach Dickert said on Saturday night the x-rays were negative and it might just be a high ankle sprain. Victor is the team's leading receiver this season, bringing in 24 catches for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the man throwing most of those touchdowns, is starting to make some serious waves, not only in the conference, but across the country, as quarterback Cam Ward was named the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week, the Reese's Senior Bowl Offensive Player of the Week, and the College Football Performance Awards National Performer of the Week. In the Cougs' 38-35 win, he threw for more than 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and also rushed for a touchdown. And maybe, now just maybe, the slightest whispers of Heisman talks begin. But for this guy, he's just focused on the mission at hand.
From coming out of high school, from a zero-star recruit to ended up where I am now, the coaches that I met along my journey, the players that I met along my journey, I got a chance to build some great relationships, and I'll probably say this is one of the most connected teams that I've been around all my football life. So, you know, it was great to get that win.
Cam deserves to be mentioned with the best quarterbacks in the country, period. I think he continues to show that, and I think nationally we undervalue him and what he's doing.
Now, Washington State will enter their bye week, but another big matchup is looming as they're going to travel out to the Rose Bowl for maybe the final time to take on UCLA next Saturday afternoon. And coming up a bit later on, we're going to have more from another big game that's coming up this weekend in our area. Eastern Washington and Idaho are set to clash on the Inferno. Kirsten, I'll send it back over to you.
Thank you, Alex. Years of planning, headaches, and coordination have led to what you're seeing right now. One Spokane Stadium is days away from completion now, ready to be the new home for high school sports in the Spokane School District. But today, we got a sneak peek as to what fans and players can expect when they take the field on Thursday. Jordan Smith was there today. He walks us through the state-of-the-art amenities that will transform high school sports and the music scene here in Spokane.
Yeah, we were allowed on the field this morning to get a sneak peek at Spokane's newest venue, and it did not disappoint. Walking around the field, you could just see the attention to detail and the amount of work that goes into putting a stadium like this together, and it was incredible. On the field of One Spokane Stadium, you could feel the excitement building.
We know there's lots of really great memories that are going to happen here, so just couldn't be more excited.
Construction crews are putting the finishing touches on the state-of-the-art home field for Spokane Public Schools.
It's really incredible for our city to have an asset like this. This is going to be just a premier venue for high school sports.
The stadium features ESPN quality lighting, multiple layered turf specially designed to reduce injuries and increase longevity, and it also boasts a jumbotron that players will be able to look up and watch themselves on game day. All 5 schools got their first peek at the new stadium on Saturday, with smiles all around.
It was a lot of energy, a lot of fun. They're bouncing around, they're kicking field goals, they're being kids and enjoying it and being young athletes and seeing how fast they can run and, you know, just doing warm-ups. It was really fun.
The priority of this stadium belongs to the students, but this venue holds an impressive 15,000 people for concerts and nearly doubles the electrical capabilities of Spokane Arena, which will likely be a magnet for bigger stars to come play the Lilac City.
The max capacity we can get in here is over 15,000 people for a concert. So that's a number that we can't hit over at the arena or anywhere else in town. So it's a whole different demographic of artists we're able to grab and pull into town.
The ribbon cutting ceremony will be tomorrow and opening games on Thursday. Shuttle Park is taking on Pullman in soccer at 4. Then North Central and Clarkston will battle it out in the first football game to be played here at 7 o'clock on Thursday. An exciting start to a new chapter in Spokane. Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Our downtown stadium coverage doesn't stop here. This Wednesday, we're dedicating a half hour of our newscast to its opening. Watch 4 News Now at 6:30 to get the inside scoop from the field, the stadium, and much more. Still ahead on this special edition of 4 News Now, student loan borrowers have to start paying off their debt. Another way that you can try to save coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Inside Edition.
These are the stories that impact your life.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
What I want people to know about Numerica's involvement is that it's genuine.
I work at a company that supports the community because we're a part of it.
It's important to give back to the community you live in. We are truly here to help, and we're passionate about it.
The weather this time of year can be crazy. Sun 1 minute, To rain the next for weather that severe, you need the 4 News Now First Alert Weather Team. Before you head out, watch Good Morning Northwest to plan your day. With the 4 things you need to know about the forecast in my exclusive 10-second takeaway, you'll know exactly what to expect and when.
Get your forecast from the 4 News Now First Alert Weather Team on air, online, and on the app.
That's what we mean when we say expect more.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25. Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Start your day with Good Morning Northwest weekdays at 5 a.m. and then America's most watched morning show at 7 a.m.
Good morning, America.
After a more than 3-year pause, interest on student loan debt started accruing again at the beginning of the month, and payments on those balances will resume October 1st. ABC's Tim Pulliam has some tips for millions of Americans who are now affected.
Earlier this year, the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's student loan debt cancellation plan. And now, after more than 3 years, Americans with student loans will have to start paying those debts again.
I really don't know quite how I'm going to be able to swing these payments again.
Emily Irwin, Senior Director of Advice at Wells Fargo, recognizes the difficult position borrowers are in.
Understandably, this is something that even though it's been a pause, it felt permanent because it was so long, but it is coming. We really have to be able to set aside any anger or disappointment that changes weren't made with respect to loan forgiveness, because this can affect your financial future.
She says it's time to get organized. Make a detailed list of your loans, including the loan provider, outstanding balance, and interest rate. Distinguish whether it's a private loan or publicly funded through the federal government. For the latter, she recommends setting up automatic payments.
If you do that, you're going to receive a 0.25% off your interest with any federal loan. Many, if not most, private loans also offer you that discount on your interest rate.
Next, Irwin says to re-examine your budget. Look at your income and your expenses and allocate a new bucket to the student loan payments.
If you have a little bit of extra, you might even want to throw a little bit of extra dollars every single month towards that student loan payment that has the highest interest rate.
Tackling loans with the largest interest rates first can mean paying less money in the long run. But at the very least, she says make the minimum payments. And if you're unable to, there are resources available. You can start with studentaid.gov to research repayment programs such as an income-driven plan and look into what types of deferment or forbearance options may be available to you based on a change of circumstances over the last 3 years. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
There's a chance your Idaho high school senior could get a scholarship to help pay for school or training that leads to an in-demand career. The Idaho Launch Scholarship is meant to promote real-world jobs Idaho employers desperately need to fill. It offers up to $8,000 for students planning to go to an eligible Idaho institution. Applications open October 3rd. You can find all of the requirements and a link to the application in this story on KXLY.com.
Here's our chance of precipitation throughout the day on Tuesday, and there's at least a slight chance start to finish. It starts off at 80% at 6 a.m. and then goes downhill throughout the day. Finally, only a 20% chance of rain by 4 o'clock, but There's more wet weather coming in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you all about it after the break.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Call Russell & Hill, attorneys at law, where real people with real injuries get real results. 24/7, nights and weekends. Free consultations. And there's never a fee unless we win. Choose 2. Choose Russell & Hill.
ABC's World News Tonight at 4 News Now, when the local story is national news.
When national stories hit home, watch ABC World News Tonight at 5:30.
And 4 News Now at 6. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
From the very beginning, we've been taught safety is very important. It's an act of love. When we're on the road, every action we take gets everyone to a safer place. Each of us can make a difference. Slow down. Ride sober. Get endorsed. Get training. Alone we are strong. Together we are stronger. And together we get there.
We know where each other's boundaries are. That's the magic of the show.
And I'm sure if I cross it, I'll know immediately. I just crossed it.
The #1 entertainment talk show. Who even knew? Will make you say, oh my God, going mama like that. Oh my God. Excellent song choice.
This is a lively audience.
It's so much fun, but you know.
It's fun for anybody watching. You do kind of remind me of a Rottweiler. Yeah. Let's play the theme song from Ghost.
What do you think the reason why couples fight?
They host talk shows together.
Live with Kelly and Mark. Weekdays.
Hashtag crushing it.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Here are 4 things to know about your weather. We've got rain coming overnight. In fact, any time now that rain will start off just a few sprinkles until about midnight, and then things will pick up. Rain continuing tomorrow with the possibility of some thunderstorms in the afternoon. It's going to be at least 15 degrees cooler tomorrow than it was today in Spokane. And then we have a wet week ahead, although the next couple of days will be the wettest. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We have this deep area of low pressure. Really is quite beautiful on the satellite map, this area of low pressure that's driving in subtropical moisture, an atmospheric river in progress. That's what's going to bring our first round of rain. But as we take a broader look here, once that system starts moving away, we do have another system that's coming in for Wednesday that's going to bring another round of precipitation, some good wetting rains. Then we're going to be in more of a westerly flow. So we will see systems moving through one after another, but it will be more likely that we'll see that precipitation in the mountains with a rain shadow over the Columbia Basin, and then Spokane. We'll get what is left over. A chance of showers here and there, but definitely we'll see more in North Idaho and the Northeast Mountains than what we'll see around town. Here's our chance of precipitation for the next few days. A very good chance Tuesday and Wednesday. And Wednesday's system will have similar timing in that it will come in the overnight hours, early morning Thursday, and then begin to taper off during the day. Then on Thursday and Friday, a 50% chance of rain as we get more of a westerly flow, and then that drops to 20% for the weekend. Just a slight chance of mainly mountain showers. With the clouds and the rain overnight, temperatures will not drop very efficiently. We'll be in the 50s and upper 40s around the region. Couple spots staying in the mid 50s overnight, including Lewiston. Tomorrow will be a cooler day in most locations, only 58 in Sandpoint. A lot of 60s on the map and just a couple of spots making it up to 70 degrees. And then it gets even cooler for Wednesday and wetter. A 90% chance of rain with a high of 58. 60 on Thursday, then back down to 58 on Friday. We start drying out for the weekend. A slight chance of showers, and we'll dial in on this a little bit closer. I know there's a lot of fun fall activities that need to happen over Saturday and Sunday, and we will help you plan as we get closer to time. But right now, I think you can forge ahead with your apple picking and family photos. And 63 on Monday. Overnight lows through the 7-day forecast will be in the upper 30s and 40s. We'll be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Honey, that was my brother. Can we bring him dinner tomorrow? He's been having a hard time since his accident.
Of course. I know it's been tough. There's so many costs that his insurance doesn't even cover.
I know. The ramp to his front door, transportation, meal preparation. What if something happens to one of us?
We should plan to sit down soon. We can look through the long-term care benefits that we're earning with WA Cares.
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Let's kick off season lucky number 7 in a big way. Let's talk dirty.
When you got number 2?
You did it.
Excuse me.
Sex always ends this way.
Let me guess, these are things that end with crying?
Michael Strahan hosts The $100,000 Pyramid. Returns with new episodes Wednesday, 10/9 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
The time card doesn't care that the car wouldn't start. The bills don't care if the money can't be found. And pain doesn't care that it's just not fair. But thankfully, you do. For just $25 a month, you double the Salvation Army's ability to come alongside hardworking Americans facing poverty and help them win.
Back by popular demand. When you shop Furniture Row, you pay what we pay. That's right. For a limited time, our employee pricing is available to everyone. Get 15% off any single item when you spend $9.99 or more. That means you can save big on that perfect sofa, dining table, bed, or Denver Mattress brand mattress.
Our discount is your discount.
Plus, furnish your entire home with 4 years no-interest financing. But hurry, employee pricing at Furniture Row ends soon.
I want you to listen up and listen carefully.
This is MeTV, America's #1 classic television destination.
It's one of a kind.
One of a kind.
And it makes me feel good all over.
Airing more than 60 memorable series every week.
Watch MeTV's comedy stars over the air on KXLY 4.2.
MeTV is memorable entertainment.
Television? Wow!
Watch live weekdays at 9 and now 3.
Only on KXLY, ABC 4.
Many people who lost their homes in both the Gray and Oregon Road fires are finding out that they are underinsured. An insurance recovery workshop was held tonight at the Davenport Grand Hotel to help wildfire survivors maximize their insurance claims. Marissa Rio spoke with the workshop hosts and is here to share some of those tips.
Tonight's workshop was put on by Adjusters International Pacific Northwest. It's an organization that helps clients with financial recovery following a disaster. The purpose of tonight was to help wildfire victims, 1, understand their policies, and 2, provide them with the tools to advocate for themselves and receive all the money they are entitled to. One of the company's adjusters said a lot of times insurance companies try and save themselves money. An initial payment will be sent, but in order to get the rest of the claim, victims have to document everything that they lost. This can be a daunting task.
It's not like a normal house fire where you can still see a couch or you can still see a chair, but it's just black. So everything has to be done from memory. Everything has to be done in a systematic way that allows people to make sure they get everything listed.
Drouet says insurance companies also like to finish the process as quickly as possible, but people do have some time.
You got to go room by room, step by step. Talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, talk to anybody that's been in your house about, do you remember what was in my hall closet? Do you remember, you know, certain things that maybe aren't just coming to you right off the bat?
Once everything is documented, an adjuster with the company advises people to create an inventory list with a replacement cost that's as accurate as they can get. For those who couldn't make tonight's workshop, Drouet said he is willing to help wildfire victims over the phone. The organization also offers services that handles the documentation for you. For more information, you can visit our website at kxly.com. Reporting in studio, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Marissa. The West Bonner School District Superintendent resigns. What's next for the district after the break?
Download the 4 News Now app today.
You expect more from local news. 4 News Now delivers.
It's to get you the information you need to plan your day.
We begin with breaking news and the breaking news you need to keep your family safe.
That's what we mean when we say expect more.
Your whole health is more than what you find at the doctor's office because it's all around you. The food you eat, what makes you happy, and what keeps you up at night. The place you call home. It's why we created a health insurance company that considers so much more. WellPoint, your whole health is our whole point.
So we were walking to school.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't have
I really
another
hope
bad
we
day.
don't have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
We know where each other's boundaries are. That's the magic of the show.
And I'm sure if I cross it, I'll know immediately. I just crossed it.
The #1 entertainment talk show, Who Even Knew, will make you say, oh my God, go in my mind like that. Oh my God. Excellent song choice.
This is a lively audience.
It's so much fun, but you know.
It's fun for anybody watching. You do kind of remind me of a Rottweiler. Yeah. Let's play the theme song from Ghost.
What do you think the reason why couples fight?
They host talk shows together.
Live with Kelly and Mark. Weekdays.
Hashtag crushing it.
4 News Now anchor team, not just in the newsroom, but in the community. We're doing the work, listening to you, asking questions, and getting the answers you need to help keep your family safe. It's what we mean when we say, expect more on 4 News Now.
Breaking news tonight. Within just the last few minutes, the Spokane City Council approved an ordinance that would ensure scraps would only euthanize animals when necessary and never for space. Last week, scraps put down at least 14 dogs. The shelter maintains that those dogs were untreatable and dangerous, and they were euthanized as a last resort. Many people came out tonight to speak in support of the measure, including an 11-year-old who says he's spent time with some of the dogs that were euthanized.
I used to give them treats and talk to them. They would always sit for me and knew to gently take the treat from my hand. How does that make them dangerous? How does that make these dogs dangerous?
If the city council finds that the shelter does not comply, its contract with the city could end, meaning another agency would need to step in. After just 3 months, West Bonner School District Superintendent Brandon Durst is resigning. He made the announcement on social media around noon today. Bronte Sorotsky has details on why Durst says he's done.
In a letter posted to social media around noon, Brandon Durst says he's stepping down to promote healing and unity in the community. This following his controversial appointment and being deemed unqualified for the job. Before Durst was superintendent, he was an analyst for the Idaho Freedom Foundation, a right-wing think tank. He was hired by the West Bonner County School District in June. Upon being hired, Durst didn't have the requirements needed to serve as a superintendent in the state of Idaho. The Idaho Board of Education denied Durst an emergency provisional certificate earlier this month, leaving him unqualified to serve as the district superintendent. Last month, 2 school board trustees were voted out of office. Board Chair Keith Rutledge and Vice Chair Susan Brown, who were criticized for hiring Durst. Now Durst says he's out, saying the Idaho State Board of Education and Superintendent of Public Instruction, quote, wished to see him fail. In Durst's social media statement, he says his final day as superintendent will be determined by the board. I've reached out to the remaining trustees and the district for comment and have not heard back by news time. In studio, Bronte Sorotsky for News Now.
Thank you, Bronte. A man is in jail tonight for allegedly walking around a Spokane Valley apartment complex threatening people with a realistic-looking BB gun. Here's a picture of that BB gun. Police say 20-year-old Colton Scaffide pointed it at a man threatening to shoot him after the victim called him a snitch. Scaffide was eventually arrested. He now faces felony harassment charges.
Some very light rain crossing the Cascades and working its way into the Columbia Basin. We will start to see that light rain spread into the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area around midnight, and then it will be picking up in intensity. It is coming with some gusty winds. Right now in Moses Lake, we have wind gusts at 22 miles per hour. Expect the winds to pick up around the rest of the region as that rain approaches. Wind gusts in the 20-mile-per-hour range possible overnight. We are going to be cooling down into the 50s in most locations around the Spokane area. A few spots in the 40s, but these temperatures are a bit above average. High temperatures tomorrow will be a little below average and quite a drop from today. We will be in the 60s through the I-90 corridor. A couple of spots dropping in or staying in the 50s, including Spirit Lake. It is going to be a damp start to the day. I hope your dog got a walk this evening. Otherwise, you're going to have to keep your 4 News Now First Alert weather app handy. There'll be some breaks in the afternoon, but we also have the possibility of some thunderstorms and then more wet weather on the way for Wednesday night. I'll be back to show you the timing on that in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. A man is now facing vehicular homicide charges for allegedly causing a car crash that led to the death of a 32-year-old woman. Washington State Patrol says 23-year-old Philip Garcia was passing a semi and hit another car, causing it to roll over, killing Jessica Wright, who was in the passenger seat. Police believe that Garcia was intoxicated with his blood alcohol content at 0.167. That is double the legal limit. You can now once again order free COVID-19 tests from the federal government. You can get 4 tests per U.S. household by placing an order at covidtest.gov. People without internet service can call 1-800-232-0233. The rapid test can be taken at home and used regardless of whether someone has symptoms. Some of the dates on the test may show that they are expired, but the U.S. Food and Drug Administration extended those dates. The CDC says more than 15 million American adults have long COVID symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, and dizziness. But the chronic condition is hard to diagnose because routine tests don't reveal anything is wrong. Researchers now say they may have found potential biomarkers for long COVID. If so, this could give scientists a way to objectively measure who has it and whether or not experimental treatment works. One study compared 273 blood samples. The authors found that those with long COVID had lower levels of the hormone cortisol in the morning. There's more information on this on KXLY.com. Around the nation tonight, lawmakers in our nation's capital only have a handful of days left to avoid a government shutdown that would impact millions of people. ABC's Liz Landers explains what's preventing lawmakers from reaching a deal.
Time is running out for Congress to strike a deal to fund the government, and a government shutdown is looking increasingly likely to occur Saturday at midnight. Speaker Kevin McCarthy telling reporters today that the House could vote at, quote, any time on a short-term continuing resolution to keep the government open, but didn't specify when.
First, put up the rule, be able to do the appropriation bills, and then we can move to the next.
How soon could a CR be voted on then?
Well, we've got the CR working now, so we could do it at any time.
The logjam is being caused by disarray within the House GOP, and frustration is mounting in the party against the very conservative members who are refusing to compromise on issues like border security and support for Ukraine.
I think Kevin's going to continue to negotiate until the end, but the Republicans need to vote for Republican bills, and we can avert this shutdown.
But Democrats control the Senate and the White House, so even if Republicans in the House eventually agree on a bill, a government shutdown may not be averted unless the spending bills also have the support of Democrats and moderate Republicans. If the government shuts down, as many as 4 million federal workers could lose pay, including military personnel and law enforcement, while members of Congress would continue to receive their six-figure salaries.
Funding the government is one of the most basic fundamental responsibilities of Congress. And if Republicans in the House don't start doing the job, we should stop electing them.
An administration official telling ABC News that the Office of Management and Budget has started reaching out to other federal agencies to make sure that their contingency plans are up to date in the event of a shutdown. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
In Hollywood, writers are off the picket line, reaching a tentative deal with major studios and streaming services. In an email, the union alerted its more than 11,000 members of the potential deal, saying it's, quote, exceptional with meaningful gains and protections for writers. The Writers Guild board will vote on a contract tomorrow. Members of the United Auto Workers, though, say there's no end in sight for their strike. Over the weekend, it expanded walkouts against two of the big three car makers. And tomorrow, President Biden is planning to join workers on the picket lines in Detroit. ABC's Melissa Adon is in Rockland County, New York, with the latest on their targeted strike.
We're now in day 10 of the United Auto Worker Union strike against the big three U.S. car manufacturers, which is impacting plants across the country. Tomorrow, President Joe Biden expected to join some of the union workers on the picket line, believed to be a first for a sitting president in recent memory.
He has made it very, very clear that he supports union workers. He believes that corporate profits should lead to a record UAW contract.
And Donald Trump, the Republican frontrunner, will also be in Detroit this week, planning to give a speech to about 500 auto workers and supporters on Wednesday. This as the United Auto Workers Union remains steadfast in their strike. Members want 40% increase in wages and stronger benefits like cost of living adjustments, more paid time off, pensions, and an increase in retirement pay.
Nobody wants to be out here. We want to be in there working. We want to be, getting parts to our customers and to the dealers. But it comes to a point where you had to draw a line in the sand.
On Friday, President Sean Fain announcing the union expanded their job action to 38 plants in 20 states. The new picket lines going up at General Motors and Stellantis locations, but not Ford. Fain saying Ford is showing that they're serious about reaching a deal, though adding they're not done negotiating yet. In a statement, Ford saying there's still significant gaps to close on the key economic issues. Stellantis also issued a statement saying that it questions if the union's leadership wants to reach an agreement in a timely manner. The targeted strikes impacting GM and Stellantis right in their pocketbooks because this plant here supplies auto parts, which is one of the most profitable sectors in the automotive industry, and it's soon going to make it difficult for dealerships or car customers to find certain parts. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Rockland County, New York.
The Idaho Vandals are coming off a big win on Saturday afternoon. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti previews the big clash they'll have with Eastern Washington in Cheney this weekend.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Shelter. Out here, it's the most important thing. Gotta be protected, gotta be dry. But the good thing is, my Ford F-150 provides enough power to keep working. Weekend cabin, it's looking good.
Wherever you go, a Ford F-150 is the key to survival. Get a great deal on one today, only at your local Ford dealer.
Nails, lumber, hot tub.
We can't all be starship captains.
Starfleet was founded to seek out new life.
Some of us are scientists.
Restrain your leaps of illogic.
Others, doctors.
You won't feel a thing.
And engineers.
We're about to blow up.
Whoever you are, boldly go.
Find the truth.
All Star Trek Watch Heroes and Icons over the air on KXLY 4.3.
Let's roll. Wait, what's that?
A hawk feather?
That's right, baby.
His job is important.
But this is what matters most.
Real ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025. When flying, you've got options. Now's the time to make sure you're covered. No judgment, we all procrastinate. But now you have time to get things done. Replacing that smoke detector battery, dusting off that treadmill, returning those 7 emails. It's time to take on those things you've been putting off and turn your to-do list into a checkmark party. If you're planning to fly after May 7th, 2025, you'll need one of these approved options. Time flies, and so should you. What are you waiting for?
You realize what time it is?
What time is it?
It's MeTV time.
Me? Watch me.
MeTV has more than 60 memorable TV series airing every week.
Penny Mason.
Bonanza.
Andy.
Mama.
Carol. All in the family.
The Three Stooges.
Mash. Oh, clearance sale.
It's always a good time to watch MeTV.
Well, where are they?
You can find MeTV over the air on MeTV 4.2.
MeTV.
Memorable
entertainment.
Television. Watch live weekdays at 9 and now 3.
Only on KXLY, ABC 4.
We have rain on the way tonight with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour, 52 for an overnight low. For tomorrow, a high of 63. Rain in the morning, then it will become more hit and miss, showery, and we could get a thunderstorm. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. A classic atmospheric river bringing in subtropical moisture. The heaviest wet weather is on the west side of the state, but we are getting brushed with that too, and we have more to come. Here's our forecast radar. I'm going to go out 48 hours. I'll take you through 2 events. First one, moving in tonight, we'll see rain spreading across Spokane and Coeur d'Alene by 2 a.m. That's going to continue right on through 8 a.m. Then it will start to get a little more hit and miss, but we may see some thunderstorms embedded in those showers. Here's noon. Then we dry out. As we get into the evening, we'll get a little bit of a break overnight Tuesday, but then by the morning commute on Wednesday, the next round of precipitation will be underway. Similar timing by noon, possibility of some mountain thunderstorms, not quite as intense as this first round tomorrow. And then we're dry by Wednesday evening, but there's more wet weather possible on the way. Thursday and Friday, the system definitely favors mountain showers, but we could get a little bit of shower activity around Spokane as well. We'll be diving into that as we get closer to time. By the weekend, only a 20% chance of mainly mountain showers. For the most part, we're going to be dry in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. With the clouds and the rain overnight, temperatures will stay in the 50s in most locations, a few 40s around the region. High temperatures on Tuesday. 50s in Sandpoint, 60s and low 70s elsewhere around the region. Our average high is right about 70 degrees. Here's a look at your planning forecast. We cool down for Wednesday to a high of only 58 degrees, staying in that upper 50s, lower 60s right on through Saturday. Hopefully a little bit of sunshine on Saturday, and then we start warming back up into the mid-60s Sunday and Monday. But again, these temperatures are below average right on through the 7-day forecast. Kirsten?
Looks good to me. Thank you, Chris. Oh, well, having to take a child to the hospital is a terrifying experience, not only for the child, but for the parents as well. And when a diagnosis requires overnight stays, the anxiety really kicks in. Providence Sacred Heart Children's Hospital tries to make that experience a little bit less scary by pairing kids with a child life specialist, a sort of built-in hospital buddy. Marissa Rio shares the story of a young girl who's been a patient at the hospital for years and has made lifelong friends with the specialist she was paired with.
The Youngs are a local family that have taken their daughter to Sacred Heart Children's Hospital since she was only 2 years old. She is now 9 and has gone through countless surgeries. An exact diagnosis has still not been found. The family says they couldn't have done this without their child life specialist.
I was in a lot of pain. I kept calling for Leah, and one of the times she wasn't there, and she came right up. Even though she was doing something, she always has been there for me.
Callie met Stevens the first time she was admitted. It was a terrifying time for the entire family.
When Callie was just 2, right after her 2nd birthday, we brought her in what was the beginning of a seizure and didn't know anything beyond that in the middle of a scary, snowy snowstorms.
Callie stayed in the hospital for 23 days after that. As she got closer to discharge, she was introduced to Stevens.
My first thought probably was we were going to be really, really good friends.
And Callie was right. The two of them play games, do arts and crafts, and even run down the halls together. Stevens says she's seen Callie grow so much over the past 6 years.
The first time I met her, it used to take so many attempts to get IV in her. And we used to have to use nitrous, which is like laughing gas, to just kind of help calm her body enough to get through it. And now she's doing procedures completely independent of even her mom being in the room.
Callie's mom says sometimes when Callie is screaming in pain, all she wants is Stevens.
And when Leah enters the room and you see her smile and it's just that peace, you can't
take that away from me.
Yeah, I just can't put it into words how much of a relief and gift it is to us to then sit back and go, you're not kidding, it really is going to be okay.
The Young say Providence Sacred Heart Children's Hospital makes this process feel a lot more doable. The Youngs now visit the hospital on a monthly basis, and Callie always has Stevens there to cheer her on. But none of this would be possible without donations. For information on ways that you can help more kids like Callie, you can visit our website at kxly.com. Reporting in studio, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
I'm Chad Young from the EasyHomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With the EasyHomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Imagine a knife taking this much abuse and didn't need sharpening. Introducing the incredible NutriBlade knives. They're coated with granite stone non-stick and made of stainless steel, one of the hardest substances on earth. Now everyone can chop, slice, and dice just like a pro. The Easy Grip rubberized handles deliver incredible control and accuracy to chop salads in seconds and cut frozen solid meat with ease and get razor-thin slices every time. The non-stick surface means food slides right off and they're dishwasher safe. Plus, they'll stay razor sharp guaranteed. A complete set of chef knives can cost you hundreds, but today you can get this professional 6-piece set of NutriBlades for just $29.95. Order right now and we'll even ship them to you free. Now get your own NutriBlade knives from Granite Stone, the last knives you'll ever buy.
Call 1-800-575-1560 or go to buynutriblade.com.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
These dancing stars are ready to turn it up.
Tyson Beckford,
Allison Hannigan,
Ariana Maddox,
Adrian Peterson,
Sochi Gomez,
Matt Walsh,
Lele Pons,
Mauricio Urmansky,
Jason Mraz,
Charity Lawson,
Harry Jowsey,
Barry Williams,
Mira Sorvino,
and Jamie Lynn Spears.
It's a new spin on Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, Tuesday, live on ABC and Disney+.
Next day on Hulu.
More American
Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Well, for the first time this season, we finally got to see the Idaho Vandals at home in the cozy confines of the Kibbie Dome, as they've had exactly the start they were hoping for, 3-1 on the season. And on Saturday afternoon, it got just a little bit better as Idaho edged out 4th-ranked Sacramento State 36-27, as that offense continues to shine, putting up more than 400 yards on the afternoon over a Hornets team that just beat Stanford a little more than a week ago. And today, Idaho was rewarded with being put into the 6th place in the latest FCS poll, as they are now in prime position not only to host a playoff game, but maybe even have home field throughout. But it's a little too early to be worrying about that if you're asking head coach Jason Eck.
Good win on Saturday. I think Sac State's a very good football team, and was pleased how we kept battling to finish that one off in the end. But we got to quickly set our sights to Eastern. I think they're playing a lot better football than last year. Coach Best has done a good job kind of getting them going. I think they're playing with more energy, playing probably a little harder, a little bit more sound than they did last year. And I don't believe the Vandals have ever won on the red turf up there. So we got to go try to do something that hasn't been done before, and got to have a great week and continue to get better.
Now this sets up a very interesting matchup out in Cheney this weekend. A top 25 Eastern Washington Eagles team that just took down UC Davis this past weekend. And like you just heard X say, the Vandals have never won on the red turf. And the Seattle Seahawks are also coming off a very nice win yesterday to improve to 2-1. Now, it's against one of the worst teams in the league in the Carolina Panthers. They're now going nowhere, but still it sets themselves up for a nice little playoff run. And after a relatively quiet first half, the Seattle offense really got going after the break, scoring 25 points in the final 2 quarters as they pulled past the Panthers 37-27. Quarterback Geno Smith threw for nearly 300 yards and a touchdown. Now, the 3rd down conversion percentage that's been bad all season was bad again, but a win's a win, and they're going to take it going into a long week before traveling out to the New York Giants for Monday Night Football next week.
But we're kind of encouraged about some guys getting healthy coming back for this week, and we'll see how that all works out. We'll have to take it a day at a time, but we got a chance for some guys to return to action, and just makes us more competitive internally and helps us stay on our game. So I'm looking forward to that.
And checking in on the other Seattle team, currently the Seattle Mariners down 5-0 in the 9th inning to the Houston Astros. This is problematic because we're in the final week of the regular season. Mariners are a half game out of the wild card spot, about 2 games out of the AL West spot. So this is not good for their playoff chances. But coming up on Nightside, we're going to have more on the Mariners game and get post-game reaction as we are getting down to the nitty-gritty part of the regular season. Kirsten, send it back over to you.
Thank you, Alex. With the fall and winter holidays quickly approaching, experts say it's a good time to rein in your spending, strengthen your savings, and create a year-end financial plan. CNN's Cole Higgins has tips to start planning ahead now.
The countdown to Halloween, Thanksgiving, and winter holidays is on, and experts say now is a great time to tackle your expenses to avoid a financial holiday hangover.
First and foremost, Christmas happens every year on the same day, so knowing that it's coming, allow yourself the time to prepare.
Here are 3 tips to prepare and make the most of the upcoming season while keeping your budget in check. 1. Plan your shopping and expenses ahead. Decide in advance how much you need for this holiday season and start putting money aside now.
Create a Christmas or a holiday sinking fund so that you're earmarking money that's specifically designated for the holidays and you're not forced to dip into your emergency fund.
Tip number 2, audit your spending. Look carefully at your typical monthly spending, checking for areas where you can cut back now to better manage any additional spending you want to do later.
So you want to be able to have your ducks in a row. You want to have your finances organized. You want to have cash on hand.
And tip number 3, if you're planning to travel, book early and consider international destinations. With one travel expert saying some overseas flights may be cheaper than domestic options.
There's just going to be a lot more deals on flights to Europe, a lot more deals on flights within Europe, deals on hotels in Europe going forward into the fall, into the winter, and beyond.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Cole Higgins.
Well, speaking of spending, Costco members can now get health checkups online for just $29. It's a new service from Costco in partnership with a direct-to-consumer marketplace company called Sesame. Costco members can book visits with medical providers nationwide directly through their membership, and it does not bill through health insurance. Sesame caters to uninsured Americans and those with high deductible plans who prefer to pay cash for their health care. Mental health visits are billed at $79. 4 News Now. We'll be right back.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
We know where each other's boundaries are. That's the magic of the show.
And I'm sure if I cross it, I'll know immediately. I just crossed it.
The #1 entertainment talk show. Who even knew? Will make you say, oh my God, go in my mind like that. Oh my God. Excellent song choice.
This is a lively audience.
It's so much fun, but you know.
It's fun for anybody watching. You do kind of remind me of a Rottweiler. Yeah. Let's play the theme song from Ghost.
What do you think the reason why couples fight?
They host talk shows together.
Live with Kelly and Mark. Weekdays.
Hashtag crushing it.
ABC's World News Tonight at 4 News Now.
The team you trust here at home.
Across the nation and the world.
When you need information fast, a huge break in this case.
When the local story is national news. Chilling new details tonight about those 4 college students.
When national stories hit home. Finding affordable housing in the Inland Northwest is now more difficult than ever. Watch ABC World News Tonight at 5:30.
And 4 News Now at 6 with Kirsten O'Connor. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
This is 477th.
4077 what?
477th MASH.
Oh, MASH. That's on MeTV for 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yep, that's 4 episodes of MASH.
Now you can get more MASH.
Do you want more, sir?
It's not just 1 hour, it's
2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours.
So get more MASH.
I just can't get enough.
Get more MASH. Weeknights beginning at 6 on MeTV 4.2. 4 News Now anchor team, not just in the newsroom, but in the community. We're doing the work, listening to you, asking questions, and getting the answers you need to help keep your family safe. We're the friendly faces you see first thing in the morning and at the end of your day. We're the people you trust on your screens and in real life. And we'll always be there when you need us. It's what we mean when we say, expect more on 4 News Now.
Coming up tonight on Nightside, City Council is deciding whether to denounce Mayor Nadine Woodward for her appearance at a far-right religious rally last month. Our team is there in the room with details tonight at 11.
Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. A lot of wet weather, especially the next couple of days, but you will get some breaks even on those days. And then our odds of wet weather decrease through the weekend and into early next week. But tomorrow morning at the bus stop, make sure those kids have a rain jacket. Not a lot of umbrellas in Spokane. You just don't see them.
No, the rain jackets are more popular. It is going to feel completely different, though. You said earlier today we were close to 80.
Yes, we hit 80 in Spokane.
Wow.
And then we'll be at 63 tomorrow, so quite a difference.
Prepare everyone.